Welcome to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Linkowski. I am a certified franchise consultant representing hundreds of concepts across 30 different industries, and Franchise Focus is all about talking with people that are in the franchise space. And today in studio, I have with me Maria Parrella Turco, who is the founder of Honor Yoga. And Maria, welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So excited. So full disclosure, I have an Honor Yoga down the street from my house, and I have been with Honor Yoga, and it helped my back significantly. So Maria, let's talk about you. How did you come into this? You have multiple franchises that you own and that you've been a part of, and businesses, and you're just a mogul. So where do you want to start and talk to us about it?
Let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
I won't keep you here all day, I promise. But when I was 16, I was overweight. I got into fitness. I loved it. And I remember being in college, and I changed my major from pre-med to business because I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life in the health and fitness industry. And so I've had an amazing career as a turnaround specialist, first franchisee for Crunch, helped Planet Fitness, helped so many organizations optimize their mission and their profit objectives. But my life really took a turn about 12 years ago when I went through my yoga teacher training. And here I am at the height of my career in fitness, and I went through that training and it changed my life. It made me a better mom, a better person, a better leader, really to learn the way of being a yogi and living the yoga lifestyle. And I looked at the market and I looked at the industry and I said, there's two big corporate players, but there really isn't anyone helping these yogi-preneurs who are so passionate about yoga, but they don't really have a support. They are the HR person, the website developer, the program manager, the instructor, they're the chief cook and bottle washer. And they don't have the systems and the support. And I believe that yoga is a business that should be built in the community, for the community, by someone in the community. And hence I looked, and there was really no yoga franchises, and I said, this is what I need to do. I need to help. This is my dharma. This is my mission. This is my life. I need to help owners and operators who are passionate about yoga, not necessarily yoga teachers, but passionate about yoga, bring this great practice and this great way of life into their own communities. And that's what I do. I support these amazing franchise owners to serve their communities, and I love it.
And when did Honor Yoga become franchised?
So I started in 2013 in Hamilton on Route 130.
That was your flagship.
Yeah, right. And then really tried to perfect it over the next couple years. We started franchising in late 2015, early 2016.
Okay.
And then I brought in an amazing investor and partner. His name is Anthony Palazzi with AP Franchise Concepts, and I believe it was 2018. And we started really developing. We quickly got into 10 states. We had 22 studios open. We had another 18 in development, and we still do. And most of them opened up 6 months before the pandemic. And it was like, so we just started getting our momentum. And then boom, here we go.
Having to stop,
yes,
regroup.
Yes.
Take a step back, right? Because when you say there were no yoga franchises, it's very hard to even imagine that, because now yoga is a very mainstream thing.
Yes.
That's everywhere. And so just as you start getting your mojo, silence. So
right.
Where did you go from there? What happened?
Really good question, right? Most of the 25% of the fitness and yoga industry have closed permanently.
Correct.
And so it was hard. It's still hard, but it was really a really hard year and a half. Within 5 days, though, of shutdown, I said, okay, I'm one of those, you have fight, flight, and freeze when there's challenge. I'm one of those fight people. So I said, okay, what can we do? Within 5 days, we were live streaming. And the whole family of our franchise partners came together, and we started live streaming for our clients. It was incredible, because you had people who were immunocompromised and seniors who didn't even have an interaction, and we were the highlight of their day, being able to live stream, during the pandemic. And I believe we saved a lot of lives, and we saved our system by pivoting to video on demand and live stream. Now that is a $61 billion TAM, total addressable market, virtual fitness, right? We have the Peloton, it's changed forever.
Dramatically.
And fitness has changed forever. Consumers want what they want, when they want, and how they want it.
Convenience.
That's right.
Right? We want everything delivered now, and we want it all live streamed, and we don't have to leave and go anywhere, right?
Right.
Make it happen.
Right.
Snap, snap.
Make
Okay.
it happen. Absolutely. Yes.
So you guys in 5 days were able to turn this around, and that's when people ask me, what's hot, Lisa? What's hot in the franchise world? I go, you know what's hot? When franchises were able to turn on a dime and figure out how to continue to exist during this whole, worldwide pandemic. That's hot.
Right.
And then keep on going. That to me is everything. And the fitness industry, along with the restaurant industry, most hit, hardest hit within all of this. Honestly, I've heard something like 40,000. The numbers are staggering, but you're still standing, you're still yogiing, and you're still smiling.
Yes.
So that means that you're coming out of this, the other side, still strong.
Yeah.
And you've got how many in development right now?
We still have 18 in development, and we're starting to develop again now. So we just started a couple weeks ago full force. We needed to make sure our franchise partners were okay.
Sure.
Right? So we wanted to make sure they are okay, and now we can put the effort and energy into developing again. So we're excited. And we have a new model. We're selling virtual studios because people still don't have the confidence to invest $200,000 to $300,000 in a brick and mortar. So they, for $20,000, can start their own virtual studio, build the following in the community, give them the confidence over the next year to make a lot of money so that then they can open up their brick and mortar. So I'm so excited about that.
And it's brilliant. I love it. It's exactly what, when people sit there and they think about all of what has happened here. And I've said all along, it's small business that drives the economy and continues to make the economy hum day in and day out. And we don't pay attention to most of what's happening around us. Right? We just don't. We just automatically assume it's there. And every now and then you see someone that goes out of business and you're like, oh, that was a shame. But when you sit here and look at what you were just facing and that you are now still developing, how many of the people that were developing with you prior to the pandemic are still continuing to develop?
Most of them, if not all of them. So they're still, some are still scared and they're kind of wait and see, but that's such a blessing. Really is.
Truly is.
Yeah.
So now what sets you aside? I know what sets you aside, but what sets you aside for the audience in the Honor Yoga experience?
Great question. Our mission is to deliver an authentic and accessible yoga experience that unlocks the peace and power in us all. And so authenticity is one of our core values in making sure that the experience is authentic and it's accessible to everybody. So yoga could be really intimidating. We see on Instagram people doing handstands and all these positions, and it really can and should be for the everyday person. And it's part of the reason why we started the foundation also, is to make sure it truly is accessible, because it's been almost a white privilege for high demographic income areas, right? If you think about where yoga studios are viable, 80,000 household income or more. And so the foundation really levels the playing field to say we can subsidize everyone to get to yoga. But what makes us truly different, besides our values of authenticity and accessibility, is the core programs that we have. Aerial yoga. Have you ever seen that with the silk?
No, but you talked to me about it. And you said, I'm going to have you do this. And I laughed quite large.
Yes,
quite
we're
loudly.
going to get a silk installed in your house. And you're going to get upside down every morning. Because
I'll post that for everyone.
Yes, it's going to decompress your spine. And that's what it does. It decompresses the spine, because back problems are usually from the, the discompression of the back. And so our seniors and our teens love aerial yoga, because seniors don't necessarily have the muscular upper body strength to get upside down and do the inversions. We're the only country that pops so many pills. In other countries, they do things like getting upside down every morning. My mom is from Italy, and she does, legs up the wall and headstand ever since she was a little girl, because that's what she was taught to combat depression and to, bring vigor into her day. And so that is a huge differentiator, is our programs. Aerial yoga, the meditation, our kids programs, the programs that we have for beginners and for men. So our core programming really differentiates us, and all the fun things that we do, like birthday parties and retreats and workshops.
Yoga in the park.
Yoga in the park, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a shameless plug to Liz Alvarez, who
She's my physical therapist.
who single-handedly saved me because I was going to her for physical therapy, and I'm blanking on what the name of her program is, and she's going to kill me, but it was dealing with people that had therapeutic yoga, and she said, I want you to do this. I said, yoga, like I can't do yoga. And she goes, come. And I do my legs up the wall on a regular basis to this very day. The moment I start feeling stressed, boop, legs up the wall. So yeah, I owe it all to that program because I'd suffered from it for 20 plus years, and I don't want to say anything out loud, but things have been going very well for me ever since I started that program with Liz. And she helped my mom, who had shattered her hip and her ankle. So it was fantastic. She got her on the ground. She got her, the whole thing.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
so,
I broke my hip 12 weeks ago. She's my physical therapist right now. She's amazing.
There you go. So it is, you guys sit there and you look at whatever the arena is that needs a focus, and you go after it, and you go after it with vigor.
Right.
And make sure that whatever level, if you're a beginner, if you are a hardcore yogi, whatever it is, you've got everything covered for everyone's needs.
Right. Yeah.
Yoga and you practice it.
And I practice it. Really, my practice has what saved me during the pandemic. I have 2 children, a husband, and I was able to establish 2 spinoff businesses because of it. Yoga is what keeps us balanced. It's what keeps us whole. You know that. It keeps us doing the things that we love to do.
Keep on going, right? What else are you going to do? So what are these 2 other businesses that you spun off?
Oh, gosh.
During a pandemic, in the middle of watching your whole business kind of go down there.
Yeah, so as still an owner of Crunch and even Honor Yoga, we were able to live stream within 5 days, but there were so many teachers and so many trainers still out of work. And there were so many people that just were underserved. And so I said there's really an opportunity to help the independent fitness professional, because you have Peloton, which has the celebrity trainers and fitness instructors. What about the everyday trainer, wellness professional? Could be even a guitar coach or a nutritionist. They're out of work, and so essentially I built a platform that delivers an omni-channel experience. So it's live stream, on demand, and in person, and it has a whole academy that teaches and supports independent fitness and wellness professionals to launch, grow, and elevate their own business.
Smart.
And the investor invested in Honor, Palazzi. He gave us seed capital, pre-seed capital to start this. We just delivered our MVP 3 months ago, and we are increasing revenue for independent fitness professionals by 400%. So these are people who are single moms who have been stuck with no income, and they're able to take their services and their gifts out to the world and find their niche and find their market. It is such an amazing experience to be able to do that for people who've been out of work, and that came as a result of the pandemic.
I can't think of a better way to stop and go to commercial break. This is fantastic. I'm here with Maria. We're going to talk on the other side, continuing about everything that she does. Amazing person. Here is a word from our sponsors.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
sidewalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches, solid rock, and everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey. Plan your New Jersey trip at visitnj.org. Waves of fun. Nights of excitement. And a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
Welcome back to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Lankowski, and I am here with an amazing franchise owner, franchisee, franchisor, foundation board member, Maria Parrella Turco. And right before the break, we were talking all about that you've spun off a new business. And I just want to take it back just a bit. I want to go back to when you became an owner. You own not one, but two Crunch Fitnesses in New Jersey. And I want to talk about how did that happen? How did you come into, did you work with a consultant like me? Did you loved the concept, you went to them direct? Tell us about that.
Sure. So I was the consultant in the fitness industry with my partners, and we opened up health clubs after consulting. So we actually did the opposite of what most consultants do. They own a business and then they sell their business and they get into consulting. I was the consultant who opened up businesses while I was a consultant for health clubs. And so the former C-suite executive for Planet, his name was Ben Midgley. He came to our partners and I and said, I want to start a new concept. Will you help me? I want to call it Crunch. I want to take the Crunch brand and we want to franchise it. And we want to compete with Planet because we want to do the same thing, offer $9.99, but we're going to offer group fitness, which Planet doesn't offer training or group fitness.
Right.
So, gosh, I don't even know that maybe that was 12 years ago. So we basically opened up the first Crunch Fitness franchise in the U.S. and it was a lot of fun. It's so when you're an emerging franchisor and you're building a franchise, your first 10 to 20 franchisees are very entrepreneurial because they're helping you establish the system. And sometimes they're not the ones that stay with you long term because by the time you get to 30 or 40, you're now a system and it's more rigid and the entrepreneurial aspect of it is not necessary anymore because you're just rinse and repeating what works and you're not spending a lot of the time pivoting on trial and error. So doing that with Crunch was so much fun. There's a lot of like, no, we need to do it this way. No, we need to do it this way. We got to price this. We got to price that. And it's so much fun. But I got to see, how Ben ran his organization and it's all about systems and processes. So when you go from being a franchisee to being a franchisor, it's about what do I do to support my franchisees? How do I test things in maybe one or two, vet it out, and then replicate it and basically push it through the whole system so that everybody can be successful. So you're constantly trying things as an emerging franchisor, you're learning, you're trial and error, you're learning, you're looking at statistics, and then you're implementing processes and systems. So and then you bring the great people, the great franchisees into the system that are going to work those processes and systems and perfect them, with you. So we're a lot more systematized than we were when we started, but we still have a way to go, and we're learning every day from our partners, and that's why we don't really call them franchisees, we call them our franchise partners, because they are our partners.
Absolutely.
And it's a back and forth.
Especially, I was one of the first franchise owners for my franchise many years ago, and I liken it to just everyone was just going down this waterfall at 7 million miles an hour, and you were just sitting there holding on tight and just going. And exactly what you said resonated with me so much, that you get a seat at the table, you get to talk to the executive team and say, hey, and you kind of get to maybe spar a little bit, and they didn't agree with everything I had to say, but I got to have a voice in a system that's already established, several hundred. none of that's happening. Like it's already there and it's go, and they're like, thank you very much, we've got this.
Right.
So right now you're still in that whole partner mode with your franchise because it's still considered emerging franchise.
Sure.
And I just wrote an article for Franchise Wire all about emerging franchises. I was at Javits last week, and someone had commented that there's so much risk involved in the emerging franchise world, and you got to really be careful and you've got to really beware. And my argument back was, you have to do that no matter where that franchise is.
Sure.
You've got to make sure the management is stable. You've got to make sure that the system is stable, that the franchisees are not getting ready to get up and run and revolt, which happens in some of those big behemoth franchises
Sure.
that are out there. So in every level of franchising, in their maturity, there's all different levels of areas that you've got to look at and be careful and not just get drawn into the lure of, well, we've got 1,200 across the country and everything is going great, because have they been innovating? Have they oversaturated the market? Like, there's just so many things.
There's so many examples of that.
So many things,
Yeah.
right? So it's the emerging area, which is fun and exciting and exhilarating, and it's new and risky, risky. But again, you have more of that entrepreneurial spirit. It's exciting.
Right.
It's really exciting. So, all right, franchising. Pretty dominant in the male space, right? Let's be honest.
Sure.
Okay. What do you have for advice for the women watching this today about you've been on both sides. You've been both a franchisee and a franchisor. What is your advice to women that are looking to become an owner in the franchise world?
Right. Well, first piece of advice is, number one, believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself that you can be a business owner. And that's the first thing. And then the second is, franchising is a great way for women especially to get started in the business, because we need support. We need a team. It took me too long in my life to learn, I've got to build Team Maria. And who's on Team Maria? Like, who's on Team Lisa? You have Liz Alvarez, you have Maria Turco, right? You have a whole team of women around you. And so what's really great is that when you franchise, when you partner with a franchisor, you have a team of people. You still have the opportunity to run your own business, but you have the support and the systems behind you to give you that confidence and to give you that support that you need to really ensure that you're successful. So if you meet the right franchise partner, it's a great way to go. And there's capital out there, whether it's SBA or otherwise, that are looking to invest in minority and women. There's so many people out there that are advocating for us to really get out there and grow and contribute, because we have so many amazing natural values as women to be strong leaders. Our ability to be empathetic, our ability to be caring. And so partnering with a franchise that really helps to identify what's important to you and matching you with that right franchise. Like you, Lisa, you're a great consultant, because that's what you do. You take your clients, right? You evaluate and do their needs as what they want, and then you find the right franchise for them. And it's really great to work with a franchise consultant for that reason. And Lisa didn't pay me to plug that. I'm speaking from my heart, my authenticity.
The check is in the mail again.
But yes, women,
Thank
go
you,
out
Maria.
there and do it, and work with a great consultant that will help you find the right partner is really important, because it's a marriage. You're in it for the long run when you're with a franchise partner, and it has to make sense. And investing the time and the effort up front to make sure it's the right match, I think, is really important.
Absolutely. Often when I talk to, it's a lot of times I'm talking to the guys, and I tell them I need your partner or your wife to come into the conversation, and I start talking to the wife. Like, I start directing more of a conversation to the wife,
Sure.
and then before I know it, they're like, wait a second, I'm not, you stay in your corporate job. I want to do this. And I'm like, my job is done here, folks. Thank you so much. I'm like, you guys battle it out. But it's important, because oftentimes the woman doesn't look at it, or they don't feel like they have what it takes, and they don't feel that they've got, there's some sort of secret club, I feel, that people feel about franchising. I'm like, it's not. It's really not. It's
Right.
open to everyone, and there's so much availability. And when you just talked about the fact that you have this support, you're not siloed. You're not just sitting there, because that is really daunting, is creating something completely from scratch and trying to make a go of it. get your feet wet first by doing something like this, where you get like this masterclass in business ownership, and then sprout your wings and go and create something else like what you're doing now. You've got 2 spin-off businesses. Could you have done that had you not gone through all of this other experience that you've had?
No, because I learned the systems and the processes, and oftentimes we're very one-dimensional. We're good at IT, or we're good at sales, or we're good at marketing. Franchising really teaches you that it's not that one skill set that helps you be successful. You really need a system and a process that you apply to the business that's going to help the business be successful. And that's why franchising is so powerful.
Agreed. One quick moment. I want to make sure to talk about Honor Yoga's foundation. Can you just quickly explain about that?
So, again, mentioned earlier that yoga is something sometimes that's privileged to economic environments. And so if you're an amputee, or you have ADD or ADHD, or you have PTSD, you may not be able to go into a mainstream yoga class, even at Honor Yoga, as accessible as we are. So the purpose of the foundation is really the 4 pillars of diversity, whether it's economic diversity, social diversity, mental diversity, or physical diversity. And so bringing yoga programs even on a further level to those individuals who either can't afford it or can't access it. And so we do things like Connected Warriors, which is a nonprofit as well that focuses on bringing yoga to veterans who've served, and training teachers on how to say things like, you don't say corpse pose, because that might trigger someone who has PTSD or has been a veteran, and really give them the training that they need to help that market and that target market really see progression and results through their yoga practice. And so the foundation creates, supports, and bring those programs to the masses as a 501c3 nonprofit. And I have to tell you, Lisa, one of the most humbling things is last year the board had kind of disintegrated because of COVID, and I thought to myself, well, do we just keep going with this foundation? Are there people out there that really want to give their time during a pandemic? We have never had as many volunteers come forward, raise their hand, because this has been a life-changing experience for all of us, where we say, I don't want to do that corporate rat race job anymore. I don't need to live beyond my means. I want to give back, because when we give, we feel so good. So the amount of people that have come forward to say, I want to volunteer, has been incredible. We can't keep up with the volunteers. It's really humbling. It's amazing.
I can't think of a better way, although I'm very sorrowful to have to end this, because this is just an incredible conversation, but I can't think of a better way to end than on this note of what it is that you're doing for touching so many lives across the country. And we will have Maria's information up on the screen here, so that if you're interested in an Honor Yoga franchise, please reach out to Maria. And she has her other fantastic businesses as well, the MyFitPod, which we didn't even get a chance to talk about, and Salubrity, and the Honor Yoga Foundation. So get in touch with Maria, and and be sure to look her up. And just a great way to end. Thank you so much for coming on today, Maria. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm your host, Lisa Linkowski. Thank you so much for joining and watching Franchise Focus, which does air every Friday at 1 o'clock. And you can find out more about me at milestonefranchising.com. Until next time.